sacramental. All right. There are those who don't want it to be.
But has poetry been sacramental for you?
At times, yes,
okay.
Poetry's been sacramental to me. There are many people who don't want it to be sacramental because they think that's gauche. You know, they want to look at it. They're into reductionism. They want it to be about manipulation of language because that works for them. Because the whole idea of the sacramental is a little too floaty and you know, new agey for them. And I understand that. You got to be aware of that too, because you know, you go to the, and I like the Dodge. I'm a Dodge boy. Now I'm not saying, but you go to the Dodge Festival, and sometimes you got to be careful because you see people with the same kind of phoniness you see in like charismatic Catholics and fundamentalist Christians. You will see in poetry junkies. You know, they're having transport. They're listening to Rumi. They're this and that, and there's something about it.
Do you know what the fuck this taxi's doing?
No, I have no idea what this taxi's doing. And he doesn't either, he's lost. God bless you. Go back wherever you came from. Alright. No, and so you gotta be aware of that too. You gotta be aware that you don't call it sacramental and yet everybody goes, ooh, Joseph Campbell time. You know what I mean? Give me a break. You know, poetry can also be blasphemous, and the blasphemous can be sacramental. Oh, now I'm making a cheap paradox, but it can be. I mean, you know, western wind, when wilt thou blow? The small rain down can rain. Ah, that my love were in my Christ, that my love were in my arms, and I in my bed again. That's a wonderfully blasphemous, true statement. That statement's almost as true as when somebody does something really stupid, drops something and breaks it and goes, oh shit. That's what makes that poem so great, because it's just an exclamation. Western wind, when wilt thou blow? The small rain down can rain. Christ, that my love were in my arms and I in my bed again. Alright? Or the idea of a good fart in a poem. Or the idea, see, that's what bothers me about the poetry scene to a certain extent. Is, you know, I love Rumi, no problem. I love Rilke, I love all this spiritual transport, alright? But give me a break. Every once in a while there's got to be a tear in the stocking and you got to be horny and lonely and want to lick that hole. I'm sorry, that has to be there too, alright? There has to be the blasphemy, there has to be the shit. If you want,
love has pitched its tent
in the place of excrement, alright? And nothing can be whole unless it has been rent. Alright? I don't see a lot of rending there on the poetry scene. I see a lot of together people in, you know, kind of cute, like middle-class suburban haircuts, you know, being into Rumi. It's funny to watch. I call it the very nice white waspy woman watching Lucille Clifton read, who is very sacramental in her poetry. And she's reading that poem, These Hips Are, you know, they go on, these hips have been known to take a man and spin him like a top. And you're watching these straight-edged, kind of, like, no-hipped women suddenly developing hips, and they're, like, for the moment becoming, like, this, you know, Black Madonna or whatever, you know? And you're watching, that's good. It's good as far as it goes. But then I say to myself, my Uncle Pete one time got drunk and wanted to teach me about love. So he's doing vodka. He's like, I want to show you what love's about. Hey, he goes and he gets these fake roses that my aunt had hanging out. He lost them too. She was pissed. I don't know why, but my aunt loved fake roses. And he gets a bedpan and he goes, this too is possible. And he goes like that. And, you know, the problem is that they want the roses that have come from the bedpan, but they want to leave the bedpan behind. But if you want the roses, the bedpan comes with it. And poetry has to be that expansive. It cannot just be about spiritual transport. Alright? It has to be about somebody picking their nose at dusk and flicking it against the window screen. It has to be, I don't know, it has to be about a dog licking his own balls. It has to have something that grounds it. And not all poems. Some poems can be spiritual transport. Other poems can be all dog ball licking. Alright? What makes the poem is that it creates its world and makes you absolutely persuaded of its world within the context of that intention. Alright? And, you know, that's why I have no real preferences in poetry. I never know what's going to delight me. I mean, I might say I'm sick of iambic pentameter, and I never liked the sonnet form very much, which is true. I think it's more like an essay than a poem in a lot of ways. And then all of a sudden, a sonnet will come along, and that will like absolutely devastate me. Don't ask me which one, because all right now, maybe the sonnet to the Holy Ghost, John Donne, something like that. I'm really not a big fan of Keats's upon looking into Chapman's Homer, or upon first looking into
I still think that's a great poem.
I think it's a great poem, but it leaves me cold compared to Ode to a Nightingale.
I think there are many. There are a bunch of Keats's sonnets to pick on besides Chapman's.
I'm sorry, but I love the as if a new planet is the way I'm into my cat. I love the word cat.
No, you're not allowed to recite it, man.
Whatever. I love that. That's great. But what I'm just saying, you never know. You have to. The first thing you should do when you're reading poetry is say, what are my predispositions to poetry? What is my poem? All right. Now, if this poem I'm reading blasphemes against my poem, and all right, then I have two choices. One is to totally dismiss it as, oh, that's not poetry. Oh, that's not poetry. It doesn't move me. It's blah, 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 blah. It's all intellectual. I don't read Weil Stevens because he's cold. And blah, blah. Oh, give me a break. All right. The thing is okay, you can do that. You can dismiss it. The other is to say, okay, this does not fit my poem inside whatever coordinates I have for what a poem is. What does it fit? What is its intention? How well does it do its own intention? So that you
get ready to break here.
Oh God. Okay. Shit. That was scary. A cop almost caused an accident right there. Did you catch it on film, or did you just die from fright?
Having a panic attack.
Don't have a panic attack.
Oh, it's a choice.
It is. You breathe in, breathe out. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
Fucking cop. You should be slaughtered.
And then this car, as you can see, people, we have had a little dent in our essay on how one can read a poem. But as I was saying,
1 second.